It's kind of funny how I come back to this game and it's like, you know what, it's a little comforting. Well, with the music here at least. Even though it's a horrible horror game. I mean, it's a great game, but it's horror. Lots of it. And nerve-wracking. Huh. Long day today. Did I say that already? Anyways, let's continue on. So, on the last Let's Play, we woke up. Thought of Jenna because we're kind of growing close to her, and we're also bisexual. Because apparently in this game that's a choice, unlike real life. Because it do be like that? Only in video games. And then she came to our place. We accidentally woke other people up because our phone was ringing. And yeah, she couldn't sleep, so we're going out looking for, what is his name? Sorry. Carl the Ram. Yeah. And yeah, also talking about stuff while we're out here. Like, I don't know, relationships and yaoi and let's see, no, Yuri, and then there's like boy love and man love. I don't know. I didn't think that's what it was. You know what those meant. Anyways, let's reset my face. And make sure that I'm on the right face rig, just in case I'm not blocking any of the weeds. Yep, reset face. And begin. Though, I do want to note that I am drinking chamomile tea, so I might take a little break to finish that. The road turns back into chipped asphalt as we get closer to the old rail yard. The tracks to which run directly behind Leo and Duke's backyards. Not that they'd seen any use in decades. Most of the houses down the road are newer. Really? Huh. And the county even installed a streetlight after an old badger lady got hit by a car 5 years ago. That being said, most of the residents stand vacant now, residencies, in various states of disrepair. As you're on the bend, I spot Leo's house down the way. It's a little ranch-style house with a big backyard, right off the dirt road leading from the street. I swear I could read, but hey, I just wanted to play this game some more, do some stuff, and not think about the day as much. It used to be his family's home before they moved out. No cop cars parked out front or anything. Not that I really expect there to be. Ah, here's the CG that I was thinking that would be on the last one. Jenna slows for a moment, peering over her shoulder. I should take a look around the scenery, just in case there's, you know, some dark eyes in the background. Her senses are better than mine, so I lessen my pace as well, trying to listen carefully. It's dead silent, beyond the usual desert ambiance. The rustle of breeze-swept trees, chirping crickets, and tweets from local night birds. I turn back to look at her. What? She frowns to herself. Nothing. Wait, did you hear something? She shakes her head, rubbing her waist as she refocuses her attention back on me, wrist. No, just some unexpected nostalgia. I smile some, glad I'm not the only one. Oh? What for? I can't exactly place it. It's just a feeling. Almost sort of like what people call déjà vu. Ah. I nod sagely, pretending to understand. She watches me for a moment, as if to study my features for something deeper. I watch her as well, the golden glow of the streetlight giving her fur a pale radiance, blurring her features into something warm and familiar. Her bushy tail sways, and I can see the light plumes of desert dust scatter away on the asphalt beneath. They dissipate in the air, like smoke from a cigarette. When we were younger, we had many nights like this, walking to and from Leo's place. Most of the time, we'd be chatting about video games we'd been playing, or some manga that Jenna got into. Looking back, I could tell she savored those times. The fleeting moments she had away from home, where she could express her passions without fear of judgment or ridicule. Well, occasionally there would be ridicule, but of the good faith sort, I think. Whenever she criticized some dumb thing I said, or weirdest phase was going through, it never felt like she thought lesser of me. She suffered through my late 2000s? My late 2000s frosted tip highlight scene phase. After all, frosted tip highlight scene phase. Man, Chase is totally a wet guy. Probably could have used more caffeine. It's been a long day. And I woke up early and get a lot of sleep. So I guess I'm just like them. She was just trying to encourage me to be a better person and not such a wet boy. Those long walk-in talks we had were like ways to gauge our own small town inducing insanity. It was during those times I felt more secure in myself than I ever did elsewhere. But it's also when we understood we truly didn't really belong here. I can't help but wonder if that's what she's thinking of now. She smiles once, then picks up the pace once again, yeah. I step up and match her speed. I hope Duke still works late shifts. I recall him being quite nocturnal when we were growing up. He works at the Blue Diamond Casino at the reservation, right? Mm-hmm. As far as I remember. I used to think that only native people could get jobs there. I know they try to keep it that way, but many of the locals in the res, lack the skill sets and training for those jobs, or some of the jobs. Hence the outsourcing. I think Duke works, or at least worked, as a security technician. Huh. I guess I didn't know him that well, so that's just a security guard, I guess? Me neither. But he was friends with my father. I can see Duke's house now, a large, manufactured home that's raised up like 3 feet off the ground. I think Flynn told me once they made him raise it up since it sat on the flood zone of the nearby wash. Said wash pretty much never had any water in it, except for a particular monsoon season where flash flood sent whitewater currents down it. It all drains into Lake Emma. Yeah, I guess that would be kind of a real thing, real, like, worrisome thing where it's like, hey, in these deserts, you really don't have to worry about rain except for, like, a monsoon season where there's so much rain, the ground just can't handle it and it all has to go somewhere. And what was the other thing? Oh, yeah, I was thinking he raised it because of, like, spiders or scorpions. I remember when I moved to a small town kind of like this, not this small, but like a 5,000 West Texas, I was trying to get like a little place to live for college, but they wouldn't rent to college kids, even though it's like, I'm kind of old. Not old, but older. So more responsible. But anyways, like, somebody saying, yeah, we would be sleeping in a place and there would be scorpions on the ceiling for some reason. They'd fall into the bed. It's like, ooh. I did have a scorpion encounter myself. I was walking out of my apartment, and I live on the 3rd floor, and there was a scorpion right in the middle of the, hallway. And I'm like, okay. Sorry, little guy, but I'm going to have to smash you with my garbage can. It's difficult to see in the dark, but the house looks to be in a bit of a sorry state. Sorry state. It's a sorry state. The yard is overgrown with tall weeds, and there's a bunch of stripped bicycle parts and other electronic components strewn about. Jenna sees it too, and lets an audible hum, as if acknowledging some confirmed suspicion. I'm about to ask her what's up when she speaks again. My grandma never left the reservation, no matter how bad it got down there. I used to visit her a lot before she got sick. Oh? There's something about the tone in her voice that makes me think I should stop walking. I turn and focus on her. I don't believe any part of you guys, I don't believe any of you guys ever met her. It's weird how, I don't know, my reading is just absolute dog shite, but I want to continue reading, you know? She was probably the most down-to-earth member of my family. Despite genuinely believing in a lot of the old spiritual aspects of the Meseta culture. Like rain dances? Jenna gives me a look that makes me immediately regret speaking, my tail curling instinctively. You're thinking of the Pascawa tribe. They're the ones that did the dancing around the bonfire, lit by bonfire bit. Around the bonfire bit, that gets attributed to every native culture for some reason. So, wait a second. Because I think they did the dancing around the bonfire in the native people that we visited in the smoke room. Is that a different tribe of people than hers? Because I think Jenna's was part. Not Jenna. Oh, you know, the one I say I love a lot in the smoke room, her tribe. I'm not sure. Right, my bad. I give her a little thumbs up for of understanding. I must look especially scorned because Jenna begins to snicker a little. She reaches over, pushing my thumb down and squeezing my fist. Her grasp is incredibly soft, and I feel myself longing for it again as she lets go. Hey, you're a college-educated journalist now. You can't get away with the cute ignorance anymore. I got one more left of that, actually. I say, with a defensive tone. I guess I should hold on to staying cute as long as I can. Oh, that's easy, Chase. All you have to do is lose the goatee. What? Oh, come on. I reach up and grab the dyed piece of facial scruff, and the dribbling sense of self-consciousness burns at my cheeks. Jenna laughs some more. I'm just kidding. I know Leo isn't a fan of it, though. He told me as much. I let out a bit of a defeated noise. For some reason, that also kind of stings. Jenna waved dismissively, trying to get back to what she was saying. She seemed serious about getting what she has to say off her chest. Anyway, Grandma had all this ham radio equipment in her house. She started collecting it after Grandpa died, which was long before I was born. She was really into technology and broadcasting, which admittedly was an oddball contrast from her more spiritual, tradition-based outlook on life. She crosses her arms, taking a glance inside the old, parked pickup truck that's missing its plates on the side of the road. I shine my phone's flashlight inside, but there's just a bunch of bags of what looks like farming stuff, mainly fertilizer. Sure, bags of fertilizer, not crap. I remember thinking it was neat. She used to sit on the porch with her quilting gear and talk on the radio to passing truckers. Wow, really? I start to picture an old native woman who looks like Jenna, knitting needles with one paw and a radio mic in the other. Yeah, her radio had pretty good range. She did this for years, got kind of a reputation because of it. Sweetheart of Echo Valley, or something along those lines. Oh? She was like flirting with them? Jenna smirks, lightly shrugging her shoulders. Well, I suppose there's probably some of that. I remember Adam mentioning that occasionally she would find flowers in her postbox, sometimes even letters. Grandma was pretty shy, actually, and didn't like how she looked. When she was born, her ears and parts of her scalp were malformed. It was some underfunded tribal clinic up north, so they weren't equipped to fix it. Didn't get the money for it later in life either. She brings her paws up to her own ears, running her fingers down them to the base of her head fur. She always wanted to wear these big sun hats whenever we went somewhere, like she didn't feel right being seen. But over the radio, she would mainly just talk to truck drivers, asking about their day, and things that made them happy. And I remember hearing about this one particular time where she talked with a trucker who had recently lost his wife in an accident. Naturally, he was very upset and was considering whether life was worth living anymore. It do be like that sometimes. So Grandma told him to pull over and come visit her. He was reluctant at first, but he did. Grandma got together with all her old neighbor ladies and rolled out this big, ancient grill from the 60s. They baked a bunch of fried bread and cooked up a ton of tacos. Okay, this sounds great. She even went out and personally got the ingredients to make some homemade cookies, since he mentioned he liked those over the radio. When he got there, she taught him how to make all the food himself. She was worried without a wife, he wouldn't know how to cook something decent on his own. She also went around and introduced him to everyone, treated him like a guest of honor. He was this little rat guy, really meek. At first he was worried he was being awkward and out of place, but they talked for hours and hours, way into the night. His wife and him had been together for 18 years, and she was an art teacher in the elementary school in Two Canyons. So before he left, she had him made a sand painting. A sand painting? I am reluctant to interrupt, but I've never heard of that before. It's a painting in sand, usually done with pigments. What's interesting is, they're not really art objects. They're for helping people heal, to become better. Once painted, the person who needs the healing would sit in the center of the painting. The energy and goodwill that was put into the painting was to help the person in need, healing spirits, and that sort of thing. I know, nowadays you mainly see them framed up on the roadside craft sales, but that's what they're originally for. So, Jenna trails off, and I look away as she clears her throat. She takes a slow breath, and it takes her just a second to continue. My parents weren't there at Grandma's funeral. It was at some public building out in Payton for some reason. From my family, it was just Adam and I. Adam? Really? Yes, this was a long while ago, before he started changing. We were nearly a third of the way through the service when the rat guy shows up, and I have to ask Adam who he is. The only people there up to that point were us foxes. After that, I started noticing more non-foxes come in. Some were literally wearing those stereotypical trucker hats with the holy bits in the back. Holy? I don't know. And of course, half the people there were really confused who these guys were. Like, maybe they're at the wrong funeral? They just sat in the back, and then Adam went up to speak. She folds her arms together across her chest, smiling to herself as her gaze fixes upwards, or flicks. Adam stuttered his way through this speech, but at the end of it, he started inviting up the new arrivals in the back. A lot of them were fairly gruff-looking guys, you know? And, one by one, they got up and started reading letters. She pauses again. Letters, thanking her for being so kind, for giving them someone to talk to about their problems, or just being so witty and fun to speak to. The rat guy, God, I wish I remembered his name, went up last, and his letter addressed Grandma, like she was still there with us. He talked about how he was doing, how tough things were after what happened. He mentioned his wife by name, and how losing somebody so good and special can make it feel like the world has become so much darker. But how it's always important to remember that there's still good people out there, and even if they're just someone who can lend an ear for a while. And it felt like he was actually talking to us about Grandma. I thought about that a lot when, Adam passed. About how maybe it wasn't just a chemical imbalance, and perhaps he just needed somebody to talk to. She keeps her arm still tight over her torso, though it looks more like a self-bracing measure. A far cry from her usual standoff posturing. I also thought about how you're so goddamn alone out here. She gestures with both arms to her surroundings. I peer down at myself, then back at Jenna. She lets out a little noise that sounds like a quick sigh before shaking her head. Not you specifically, but rather anyone stuck in this place. What it's like an echo, and taking away all that's good? What is it with echo and taking away all that's good? She's looking at me now, but I might as well be a brick wall for how well equipped I'm able to answer that question. It do be like that. It feels almost rhetorical in nature, something with so many reasons that you could apply, that it becomes simply too much to try to put into words. I sheepishly hold up an arm. Would it be too patronizing, too much of a stereotypical guy thing to reach out to her now? It's a moment of vulnerability for someone who's cultivated a life worth being invulnerable, worth of being vulnerable. I suppose we've all got heavy shit under the surface, Jenna probably most of all. And while some of us sort of downplay it with jokes, deprecation, or lashing out to others, Jenna always kept it under said surface. Seeing all this brought to light feels like something raw, uncomfortable, something understood to be immovable, being moved. I looked past Jenna to the wash, like the desert flooding. I exhale, looking back down to her. I can feel my mind going blank, like it did earlier. Her expression is indescribable, but she's still looking at me. Oh, I feel like this is one of those things where it's like, this actually changes your path. I feel like we kept each other sane. And also I'm gonna just quickly plug this tea, because I like tea. The problem is that I keep the tea bag in. I was really fortunate growing up. I had a boyfriend I loved, a group of friends who supported me, and a family who gave a shit. And I'm not like the world's most mentally healthy person, you know? I see a completely alternate timeline where I'm just like the rest of those guys in Tetanus Alley, or worse. I rub the back of my neck sheepishly. I'm not good at making these reassuring speeches, but this is all stuff I've admittedly thought about before. That rat guy was right. Having someone around who gives a damn means the world. And isolating yourself from said world isn't how you make yourself better. It's the opposite. And for keeping me sane, I do think I have you to thank for that, in some part. My voice cracks, and I try to cover it up with a cough, and actually try to read words because I am unable to. Smooth. Thank you, Chase. Jenna smiles slightly. That's actually rather beautiful. Has this been on your mind for a while? I shrug. Lately, at least. Well, I'd like to think that his and your sentiments are true. If we have time, I might stop by to see Jeremy. When I talked with him, he sounded like he wouldn't mind seeing you again. Jenna chuckles briefly. It's strange, isn't it? The notion of you talking to him now, as adults. As kids, we're all sort of at odds over truly stupid things. I suppose I'm curious whether he's grown up as well. I guess we'll see. Jenna raises a brow. Maybe, I mean. All this being said, I am truly not excited to go back and talk to him, or his friends. For Jenna's sake, I can grin and bear it, though. I guess I have to ask, what made you think of this? I mean, the story about your grandmother. Was it just talking about tech stuff and the reservation? Jenna ponders the question for a moment, looking a bit more like her usual self. However, there's still a slight, unnerved tinge to her, like her tail has an extended bit of bristle to it. I suppose that's what got me talking about her. Though, I started thinking about this all earlier. Oh? Up ahead, there's a screen door on the side of Duke's house flings open beneath the screen door. A familiar, ash-covered figure peers out, attention focused on us. What are you two doing? He calls out to us, having to shout since we're nearly 3 properties down. At Pueblo, I cringe at the idea of someone shouting out this late in the neighborhood. However, most of these houses have long since been abandoned. Jen and I exchange a look before making our way closer to respond. I think it might be time to call it. I think because it's a scene change here, and we don't know how long it is. All I know is we have about 2 minutes till we hit that 30-minute mark. Man, it really sucks trying to play these games because I'll be like, I want to know more of the story. And if I was playing Dastra, like I did before, where I actually just read it internally and then made commentary, which I should probably do a bit more, then I could continue doing this. It was a bit exhausting because I just was so enthralled with the story. I was like, I gotta go do another episode. With this, it's like I have to read out loud, and it's just, and attempt a little bit of, I lost my face. Attempt a little bit of stuff. Voice acting, not really voice acting, but kind of. But whatever. So, that's going to be the end of this Let's Play. So, please comment, guys. Like, comments, if you like, dislike, tips, as always. If you like my YouTube and like Seek Grown, then please like, subscribe, and check out the various type of grown. Please remember spay and neuter your animals. God, my throat, what is up with it? Spay and neuter your animals to help control the pet population. And if you want to play this game, it's available free on itch.io, and I forgot about that too. But if you want to play this game, or help them make other games, Patreon, $3 a month. And until next time, let's play. Me, GamerWolfSix of Echo. So thanks and see ya.